Fear doesn't mean stop. In fact, it's a signal. It's often a signal for go, for leap, for jump, because that is your moment of expansion. What if fear wasn't the enemy? What if fear was the compass? What if fear was what was leading you towards your next big level up? Imagine that. Today, in today's episode, I'm going to break down why fear shows up, how it shows up, how it showed up for me over the years, what I've learned from it, and how I've gotten to where I am by facing fear head on and utilizing it as fuel to get me to where I'm going. I'm going to share stories and experiences and ultimately, hopefully, reframe the way you feel about fear. So why does fear show up in the first place? Well, it is a way that our body is signaling to us. It's our system going off. The amygdala within is telling us something is unfamiliar, and unfamiliarity could be dangerous. So what it is trying to protect us. And most of us know that when fear comes up or shows up in any given situation, it's trying to keep us safe. It's a signal from our system that this is unfamiliar, this could be dangerous. Be careful, be cautious, because we don't know how this might respond or how this might act in our presence. Maybe something from the past, an experience that we've had before, that same red flag goes up because it's saying, we've been here before, it was not a good experience, we are ringing the alarms, sounding the alarms for you to get out of there, steer clear, because this could be a dangerous situation. However, a lot of times we miss opportunity because we feel the fear and then we don't act on it anyways. What happens when we feel the fear and we take action anyway? It dissipates over time because honestly, fear is a signal. Fear is a signal. We get to decide if we say yes and we go for it, or if we say no and we hesitate and we stay exactly where we are. A lot of times the system, the body, it wants us to go for freeze, fawn, fight, or flight. Okay, and one of those things, technically, all of us are going to choose, depending on the situation. Sometimes if we're in a certain situation, we're going to go towards freeze, or we're going to go towards fight or flight. It depends, but our body has an automatic reaction. Until we're aware of that automatic reaction and why it shows up, then we can start to see how it shows up, because we're all different. We're all built very differently, and so fear is going to show up differently for all of us. Today, I'm here to share ways that fear has been showing up for me lately, ways that fear has showed up for me in the past, how I've managed it, what I've learned from it, and how I've actually taken fear. Honest to God, I've taken fear, one of the prime emotions that we feel as humans, and I've taken it and I've multiplied it into fuel for myself and launched myself into the future with that fear. Because first and foremost, it's the label that we give it. If fear to you is scary, and scary is something that you don't want to have, you don't want to feel that way, you're going to avoid it at all costs. If fear is associated for you with excitement, with opportunity, with empowerment, with knowledge, with experience, you may react to it differently. What I did years and years ago was reframe the way that I look at fear, because fear comes up in many different ways. And for me, the way that it shows up and why it was showing up for me was I was taking big risks. I was doing things that were way outside of my comfort zone, like way outside of my comfort zone, which is where the comfort zone pressures came from initially, just from reflecting on all the different things that I've done over the years. As far as getting myself out of my comfort zone, I realized the further I'm outside of my comfort zone, the better off I am. The more I'm learning, the more I'm growing, the better expansion and possibilities, opportunities I have at my fingertips, because staying safe, staying in my comfort zone, not being willing to be uncomfortable kept me small, kept me fearful, and kept me hesitating. And the more I was hesitating, the more opportunities I missed out on. The more fear I decided to let dictate my decision making, the less I was able to expand as a person. And so, why was fear showing up for me? Well, over the years, if you haven't been informed, I made the decision, and I've shared this in other podcast episodes before, but I made the decision years ago when I was about 21 years old to pack up my entire life, which was basically a suitcase, and move overseas. If this resonated with you, we'd love to have you part of the community. Go ahead and check out wearemovewithintention.com. You can apply there for one of our programs to see if we can serve you in the best possible way. Now, I did this when I studied abroad in Croatia at 19 years old. However, I was with a group of people, so there was still that familiarity aspect. Of course, being immersed in a brand new culture, brand new language, brand new country, Croatia was amazing. If you have never been, you gotta go. It's so beautiful. It's such a hidden gem. But anyway, moving on. The second time that I did that, I did it with nobody. I did it alone by myself. Talk about uncomfortable. I was so scared. I was so nervous. But at the same time, like I said, I reframed that fear to be one of two things: excitement and opportunity. Because I knew, I had this deep sense of knowing within that I was meant to go to Italy. I applied for the scholarship, and let me just be totally transparent with you guys. I was tutored every single week in Italian. I worked my ass off to learn Italian in college, and I applied for the scholarship knowing that I was the worst in the class. Worst on the scale of being fluent in the language, okay? I was not conversationally fluent whatsoever, but I knew the verbiage. I knew vocabulary, I knew conjugation. I knew it because I applied myself like a crazy person. I was so excited and so passionate about learning Italian. I swear, my last year of school, I put more time into learning Italian than I did my own major because I was so determined to get this scholarship and to move to Italy. And on that last month of school, I was at my gala. I was presenting a speech. I had a broken pinky. I'll never forget it, with a cast all up my arm. Don't ask why they put a cast all up my arm for a broken pinky. None of us will ever know the answer to that. But I was giving my speech. I checked my email after my Italian professor, Elisabetta, came running in. She was like, "Did you check your email?" I checked my email and I saw I got the scholarship. And that's when I jumped. Do you know how fearful I felt when I got that email and I knew I got it? Now I gotta do it. It's not just a dream. It's not just a vision. It's not just a thought. It's something that I actually get to experience. And that means I gotta take action. So I felt the fear anyways, and I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. I packed my suitcase up. I moved overseas to Italy by myself when I was 21 years old, probably a month after school finished. So I worked that whole summer at an internship, and I left in September. I started school with my kids in Italy. I was a professor teaching high school students in, I think, end of September, beginning of October. And it was amazing. If I would have let the fear stop me, I would have never have had that experience, and I would never be fluent in Italian. Because I went to Italy, because I lived that experience, I immersed myself in the culture. I pushed myself to speak. I pushed my limits. I stretched myself. I created conversations with random people in the grocery store, asking this, asking that. Curiosity was my best friend to learn another language. And because of that, because I acted with the fear anyways, I got to have that experience. The same thing happened to me when I was 25, 26, and I decided I want to get my master's because I'm building a business and I need to have this educational aspect in the background. How can I build programs and structures? I already have the event planning experience, but let's revamp this whole vision and go for my master's. What did I do? I applied to Spain, one of the programs I found in Madrid specifically, and it was half English, half Spanish. I've talked about this before. I didn't speak nada. That means nothing, no Spanish whatsoever. And I said, I'm going to apply for this program and I'm going to learn Spanish, yes or yes. That was just the determining factor. I just needed to see if I got in or not. I got in, I got accepted, I got the email. It's like that pit in your stomach that's like, holy shit, this is really happening. And now I got to actually do the damn thing. But when I actually did the damn thing, I pushed my limits and I was on it like crazy. Studying, speaking with people, conversation buddies, intercambios, they would call them, audiobooks, 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 trying to get my Spanish level up to par because I knew second semester it was only and only going to be in Spanish. So I really had to study. I really had to work. But because I felt the fear, got that email, felt the pit in my stomach, I was like, oh, it's happening. I packed my suitcase again and I took off. I went overseas. And if I hadn't have done that, I can't even tell you guys where I would be today. I can't even tell you. I left relationships here in the States. I felt the feelings of, oh, I should be at home. Oh, I should be getting a real job. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I cut the cords. I let them all go. And I did what I know I wanted to do and what I felt was in my being, in my core, destined for me. Did that create a lot of fear? 100%. But did I do it anyway? Yes, I did. And because I did, I met Yvonne, the love of my life, my partner in crime with Move With Intention. What the hell would I do without this man? And I also started Move With Intention right there in Spain. I didn't wait until it was better in the United States when I decided I wanted to come back. I didn't wait and kind of see what aligned. I just started. It was donation based. I made it happen. I made it work. And I learned along the way. If I wouldn't have been willing to do that and taken those opportunities with the feeling, the fear anyway, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I wouldn't be sitting in front of this camera chatting with you. We wouldn't be having this conversation. So just trust that the fear is coming up for a reason. It's there to teach you something. It can be a compass. It's guiding you and it's reassuring you that you are in the right place at the right time. Now, what are you going to do with it? All right, so I want to share, how does fear show up for me? Now, it shows up differently for everyone. This is just my experience with it. And then after, I want to share with you guys more about what I've learned from facing fear head on and then doing the damn thing anyway, like I've already mentioned before. But how it shows up for me is super interesting. And if you resonate with any of this, please comment, let me know, because I cannot be the only person that feels this way. When fear comes up for me, it comes up in my body in a couple of different ways. When I'm having a hard conversation with someone, when I have to be and I get to be vulnerable, I get this little wiggle in my eyebrows. Now that's like a tension headache at times, like the eyebrow tension, the tightness there, but it literally shows up as a wiggle in my eyebrows, almost like nodding with me, like this is the conversation that you are meant to be having. So lean into it. Let the feeling of fear guide you because it's going to get you through and pull you out stronger, better, more resilient on the other side. I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but that's how it shows up for me. It shows up a lot of times as the pit in my stomach. I have the pit in my stomach when I know something big is about to go down. A lot of times it's something that I'm wishing, something that I'm manifesting, something that I'm envisioning already having in my life or already having accomplished. And then just like that, it happens. I feel the feeling in my stomach. I get the butterflies. I reframed it from a pit in my stomach to butterflies, because butterflies, what do they have? They have wings. Where do those wings take them out? Those wings take them out into the world, and then they get to do the thing. They get to do the thing. They get to be in flight. They get to be in motion, and I thrive when I'm in motion. So I know that letting that fear, that pit in my stomach hold me down, hold me back, I never get to expand and use my wings. As cheesy as that sounds, that's just the truth of what it is and what I've reframed it to mean for me, so that when I feel the fear, those butterflies in my stomach, I jump, I leap, I trust myself and my wings to carry me through whatever life is throwing at me. And the last way that it shows up is in my internal dialogue. This specifically years ago used to drag me down. There is such an emphasis, and I place an emphasis on myself and on all of us here to be aware of our internal dialogues. Your internal dialogue has so much power and so much energy over how you show up, who you are, and how you make decisions. My internal dialogue used to be, why is this happening to me? What are we doing here? This is way over our head. What were you thinking? And I've been able, with the work, of course, to shift that and to reframe it into a dialogue that is supportive for me in those moments of fear. Because now all I hear is, I got this. I can do this. Let's fucking go. Make it happen. Make it happen. That one goes over and over and over in my mind. Make it happen. Make it happen. Whatever you got to do, Lacey, make it happen. This is coming up for a reason. Go for it. Let's do it. And that's not to say that I don't feel the feelings, but I don't let them hold me back like I used to. Now, overall, what have I learned from fear? What have I not learned from fear? Fear has been such a teacher over the years. When you allow fear into your life to teach you, to lead you, to guide you, instead of shrink you, make you small, make you doubt yourself, make you question what the heck you're doing out here in this world, it can truly allow you to blossom into the person that you're meant to be. I remember years and years ago thinking, what is the worst thing that could happen? What's the worst thing that could happen? What's the best thing that could happen? Where is this coming from? Why am I feeling like this? And because I implemented questions like that, and I used curiosity to be the bridge between fear and taking action, that shifted my perspective. It shifted my perspective enormously because fear is going to come up just like stress. These are inevitable emotions to feel and to not feel because we're human and we get to feel them. But what we do and how we react to them is what actually defines us and what actually allows us to expand, to grow, and to progress throughout life. And so, feeling the feelings of fear, analyzing the situation, accepting and recognizing that, hey, this might be out of my reach right now, but what can I do and how can I react? And what opportunities can I take that are going to help me level up or get to that next step so that this doesn't feel like a fear anymore? In fact, this feels like excitement. This feels like opportunity. This feels like growth. This feels like those butterflies in my stomach that are ready to take flight and to go out there and kick some ass. It's all about your perspective. It's all about how you reframe it. It's about the questions that you ask. So if you find yourself ever dealing with fear and you feel like you can't get past the fear, what if you just shifted into curiosity? I know that's what I did years ago. And when I shifted into curiosity, starting to wonder, why is this showing up? Where else is this showing up? Is this serving me? Or is this in fact actually not safe, not helping, or not serving me? Because if so, I'm going to really quick remove myself because I know who I am. I know my core values, and this is not one of them. You can assess the situation. When you ask questions and you get curious, instead of that automatic, no, oh my God, no, I feel the fear and I can't do that because it's dangerous and red flags are going off in my body and my parasympathetic system is like screaming inside. Instead, you can stop. You can take a deep breath. You can analyze and evaluate the situation. Then you can decide. It's that power of choice again. It's that power of choice because we all feel fear. Do you know how many people that I had to go out on stage in front of in Spain for Zumba? This was my first time doing it about 3 years ago now. There were probably 20,000 people. They didn't speak English necessarily, so it was all in Spanish, which meant all of my verbal cues for being out there on that stage was in Spanish. I had the music, I had the choreography, this was for Zumba, we were doing demos, we were dancing, we were getting the people excited and celebrating with the people. So I reframed it just like that. I said, this is a celebration. I may feel fear, but at the end of the day, my intention of being here in this space and pushing myself to do this thing is celebration. Not only celebrating myself and what I'm capable of, but celebrating all these women that came here for the event, that are putting themselves out there. It's not about me, it's about them. How can I pour into them? Let me get over my fear. Get curious about why it's showing up. Obviously, so many people, different language, different culture, totally new opportunity. But then place the emphasis on someone else because it's not for me, it's for them. I wanted to show up fully and presently and not let my nerves get the best of me. And so I anchored myself into the moment with a literal physical anchor every single time before going out on stage. And I went out there and I had fun and I celebrated and I gave it my all. I showed up in my 10 out of 10 energy, even with the fear, And I redefined that fear to be my excited nerves, my emotion, the opportunity, all of those jitters that came and that were getting me ready and pumped for the actual event. I've learned so many things from fear. I've learned that when you feel the fear, that's your moment to jump because those 5 seconds of hesitation can really screw things up. I've been there, I've done that. I've missed out on opportunities because of feeling fear, because of feeling like, oh, all eyes are going to be on me. What if I don't say the right thing? What if it doesn't come out elegant and composed? What if this? What if that? Shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't. And at the end of the day, I felt bad. Nobody else felt bad, but I felt bad because I didn't take action even when the fear was present. And so at the end of the day, if you get to decide, and you do get to decide what you do with the fear, do it anyway. Take action anyway. Do the damn thing with the fear right here on your shoulder. You could look at it even, have a conversation with it, as crazy as it sounds. It works. Have a conversation with it. Normalize it. We all feel fear. Talk to it and ask it, what is your purpose of being here? And how are you going to feel when I do it anyway? And we're on the other side, and this one over here is telling you, hell yeah, we knew you could do it. We always knew you could do it. When you break it down like that, and I know I break it down like that over my experiences, you always come out feeling stronger, prouder of yourself, more resilient, and more capable to do it again and do it better than ever before. It's always worth it to go after the feeling, even when fear is present, if that's what you're looking to accomplish, if that's what you're looking to do, to become, to experience. At the end of the day, it's a choice, and fear can be your fuel. Fear can be your teacher. It just takes changing your perspective and realizing that it has the potential to do so. This is just a reminder for myself and for everyone listening that fear is not here to stop us. Fear is here to stretch us, into our potential, into what we are actually always and we have always been capable of doing. But right now in this moment, if we feel the fear, we get to decide what we do with that. We get to act on it anyway to become better versions of ourselves, more resilient, stronger, more deeply connected to who we are and who we are becoming while feeling that fear anyway. If you know someone that could benefit from listening to this episode on fear, go ahead and send to them now. Leave a comment if you've ever felt the fear, but then you've went out and done the damn thing anyway, because we want to know. I want to celebrate you. I know how that feels. I know how hard that is, but by taking the actions and doing it anyway, you have leveled up. You have welcomed in growth, and you have redefined what fear means to you. Because when we feel the fear, that just means that growth is around the corner. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for holding this space and allowing me to share. Keep moving with intention, and we will see you back here really soon.